Thank you everyone for joining us. This is Business Breakfast coming to you live from our studios here. All right, let's head straight to the market now. The Nigeria Exchange All Share Index and market capitalization depreciated by 0.22% to close the week at 52,979.96 and 28.56 trillion naira respectively. All other indices finished lower, with the exception of NGX Main Board, NGX Insurance, and NGX Merry Growth, as well as oil and gas indices, which appreciated by 1.6%. A total turnover of 3.02 billion unit of shares, worth about 31.78 billion naira in about 29,000 deals were traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange. But however, if you look at this morning and taking a look at the market, is already up by about 0.1%, already crossing 52,000 to around 53,000 mark already. That's the new level. But let's bring in regular analysts to look at last week, and of course the expectation. The market is perhaps in excitement of the MPC meeting this week. We're beginning to see the result in the market. But let's take a look at last week's performance. Ambrose Amodion, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited, is here with me. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, always to have you. I want us to get started just before we get into this week's performance and the expectation. Let's look at last week, what you think drove the market, some of the factors that were predominant in the market last week. Yes, we had a lot of earnings report in the market as at last week. You also did that review on the other show last week as well. But take us through what you think dominated the market last week.
Actually, I would say it's a profit-taking week. We saw the market down for almost 4 trading section and up just for a day. Tell you that sellers are in charge for the week under review, because markets are also rally for almost 20 to 21 days. Then you're about to take profit, and that is the beauty of equity market anywhere in the world. Just because market is going on, you don't say, I want to hold on to the rally. No. Once you meet your target, you set to pull out your profit, because that's the market that have taken you up. If care not taking, I'll call it bigger now. That is why you set your goal when you are entering, your exit and your entry strategy from day one, because you have a plan that is guiding you. And when you are training your plan, once you hit your target, nobody tells you to take profit. You know that, yes, I've achieved my goal here, you sell out. And that's what we saw, last week. Also, if you look at the sectorial performance, about just only 2 sectors were up, either insurance and oil and gas. Why we saw sell off in some stock like
some other sectors.
Yeah, but it tells that people are really taking profit. Ahead of also the MPC meeting this week, knowing that that is the week, preceding the MPC meeting, following MPC meeting. For that, people are likely to say, let's sell and watch the outcome. Or like I'm thinking that this is not the time for MPC to adjust rate. Yes, people want to really hold on and see the outcome, because you can't just tell attract that, because they are looking at some factors. But for most what we're seeing generally, this what we're seeing of inflation is not for me, it's not a liquidity push inflation that we have a lot of liquidity system. That is why we have inflation. Because that is, they say too much money chasing vehicles. That is not the situation here in Nigeria. We know that this is what we call a supply distortion, and also there's what we call cost push inflation already in the economy. Then if CBN or the money decide to go and vote for rate hike, automatically if cost of fund is high and cost of energy also is high, at the same time, then where are you going to put the manufacturer? Where are you going to put the Nigerians? Because then everything will become expensive. Then the economy become what? Then automatically some companies start closing down. That will create unemployment. And we are seeing we have insecurity here in Nigeria because of people are not engaged. If the ones that engaged are being laid off because of cost of running the business, for me, I think they should watch and see. Yes, definitely, if there will be adjustment, we want to know, because being pre-election year, don't forget that some liquidity will come out from for political activities here and there.
Right.
Yeah, for that, if in the second half of the year we are seeing them adjusting rate, not for this, that is already on now. Second half, they'll see how the money play in the coming primary.
Right.
And say, okay, know that from after the primary now, we'll start seeing political parties spending, because automatically you have chosen who will be your president, who will be your governor, who will be your House of Reps, who will be your senator. Then expenses start coming in. That will money will start flowing, and that will also have of trickle down to equity market. That is where I think that CBN can start taking over. How can we control liquidity? But for me, we need that liquidity to run the system, because actually, as I speak now, things are high. If we have liquidity, can help us to monitor them. But for me, I believe that if they are thinking of increasing that second half, fine, but not for this meeting that we're paying. But not follow the trend of the global trend that they are increasing trend. No, because look at some climate around the world. They have different climate. Like look at what Japan did. Japan, instead of people, others like US, they are increasing their rate. But Japan did what? Japan leave their rate or rate and also a kind of give more stimulus to run the economy. You look at China. China, instead of increasing, they cut rate. Because you know that when they cut rate, that's where they have funds to run the economy. It is your environment to tell you what to do, not just because it's a global thing that everybody is increasing because of global inflation. You agree that global inflation is what part of influencing our own here, but if you have done what, integration, especially those companies, and also we are not importing inflation to our economy, let's see how we can manage our environment.
But on the other side, on the other hand, if you look at it again, they also want to consider interests of investors as well and how to attract foreign portfolio into our local market as well. So if you put that into consideration, that again could inform CBN's decision whether to taper, to review upward, or to just leave it the way it is. I think it's not important at this point.
Okay,
in the interest of investors, attracting them.
No, you said something. As we speak now, if you're thinking of direct investment or direct investment, fine, we'll agree with you. But for us, if oil price remain as high as above $100, what is your benchmark for your budget for 2022? And at the same time, so if you look at the market that is for almost 3 years now, it is stable. We don't have much foreign participant in the market. If you are thinking of direct investment, fine, I agree with you, but not now at the expense of your people. Because if you increase it, you're going to stifle the economy. We say the economy is recovering and it's weak. Then when you increase the rate, you're going to deflate the recovery.
Well, I mean, talking about oil again, let's dwell upon a bit. This morning, I mean, the crude oil was trading around Brent crude, of course, which is also related to our own crude oil here. It's trading around $113 already. It's on the high side. And so if you put that into consideration as well, to see how to balance things up. So the position of some people or experts is that perhaps you also need to look at, push it up a little bit. But of course, that's also a conversation that is ongoing.
You're thinking of attracting a foreign investor. At the expense of your local investor or your businesses, because if you really increase interest rate, cost of funds increase anywhere in the world, or if we increase cost of running the business already high because we have cost of inflation, then automatically those businesses will start winding down. And when they start winding down, they start laying people off.
But let's look at I mean how these I will take you into some of the let me take you through some of the performance last week, and specifically, of course, we'll get back to the issue of MPC later, but specifically some of the stocks that performed last week and some that lost last week. MC Nikos, of course, is still topping. Looking at the performance of that particular stock, with about 79 kobo all through last week. It was in the green zone. Transcorp Hotels also is also in the green zone all through last week. We'll also have Nigerian Flour Mills PLC, Northern Nigerian PLC, Abe Mortgage Banks. You have PZ Cuisines Nigeria as well. Some of these are some of the stocks. Do you think they will continue this trend this week?
Yeah.
And if you look at the performance of some of these stocks last week, what would you say, was the factor that drove this upward?
Every investment is against expectation, and also timing is part of investing. Let me start from the MC Nickel consolidation or industry. That company, because they announced a bonus of 1 for 8, and is it 3 kobo or 5 kobo dividend, since then we are seeing the price rallying. But you go and check what is the volume moving that stock. The volume is just little. You have to be very careful. When it comes to level, and also if you look at the insider dealing update that's coming from the company, you notice that the insiders are already selling, taking out profit from that. That should also send a signal to the public also if you're in that kind of position. But if you look at stock like Transcorp Hotel, I would not say I would like to the cyclical performance or outlook for investors. Don't forget that this company in previous year they paid about 7 kobo dividend. They were seeing the improved Q1 result for them. And also, being a time now, we're seeing a lot of rush to Abuja for primaries and all that. And then the news coming from Abuja is that all the hotels in Abuja is fully booked. And for hitting Transcorp hitting hotel alone is about almost 250 per night. And if people are lodging there, investors are thinking that, between now and 2023, where the electionary activities, Abuja will be a center of attraction. And they have hotel in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, in Calabar, in Lagos. That means this hotel is in business already.
It impacts heavily on the bottom line.
That is why people always position ahead of what the Q2 number, and also that's also Q1, Q3, and and for me, that is how the investor in Nigeria that become more intelligent and more savvy in terms of of taking decision. That means they are not following bandwagon. They know what they are doing. That's why I'm seeing a lot of activities in Transcorp Hotel. For PZ has May as a financial year end. And you know, I said every investment is against the future, not the past. Then we expect the result to come from June, July forward. People are taking position ahead. That's why we are seeing the movement. Already they've seen the Q3 number of PZ. That yes, they're more likely to pay dividend, but I will tell them that don't forget that the numbers that came in Q1 and Q3, there's some kind of what we call extra income that really boosted the number. If that is also sustained here, we'll see better payout at the end of the day. That's why people are positioning in PZ for now.
Let me go back to the Transcorp hotels you talked about earlier. Yes, no doubt. I mean, we're beginning to see interest in that because of the rally that was also recorded in that particular stock. Again, you talk about competition in the hospitality industry, which of course they play. How is the competition in that sector, for instance, or in that industry, for instance, especially when you have players like Transcorp hotels?
No, I would say if you look at the small hotel, it may not be doing as big as Transcorp Hotel, because this is a big hotel that in Abuja, anywhere, every foreigner that enter the big shot in Nigeria want to go to Transcorp Hilton Hotel to relax and all that stuff. And I said it just because of what is coming on now. Already we have seen kind of massive move to Abuja for primaries, and it's going to continue to 2023 general election. For me, this is a place, even the foreigners that will come in to observe the election, they want to be in this kind of hotel for security and all those stuff. For that, I see that this is what people are saying, that this year, 2023, we expect a better number from Transcorp Hotel, and that we're looking at. That's what position.
But it may not be in the long term. It's going to be in the short term.
Like a cyclical term, because it just come and go, because the election will not go be 4 years. It's just
okay. What do you think happened to Real Exchange? The stock particularly lost about 39 kobo through last week. You have Academy Press. 50 years in the printing industry should have, of course, give them a bit of that advantage.
Is it the Real Exchange?
I mean, I'm talking about Academy Press now. Real Exchange, of course, lost 39 kobo. No, Academy Press, of course, in the printing industry, 50. I mean, they've spent like up to 50 years now. A golden jubilee is enough for them to stay ahead in the business in that particular sector.
I would say that company is just profit taking also, because this is still a rally from as low as 20 kobo to almost 1 naira 70 kobo. Coming down, I'm not surprised. It's profit taking. But for Real Exchange, I would say fine. We're expecting that the reform and the recapitalization industry will impact insurance sector. But for that Real Exchange, the number that managed from that company for their full year, even their Q1, it's not too strong. That is why investors are already exiting that position. If you look at where they are standing, the price they are selling compared to their performance, people are taking advantage that let's sell and see to pull back. But for me, it's just profit taking in others that also put their price down ahead of this MPC meeting that we are looking forward to.
For FTN Cocoa processors, May and Baker also coming in the 5th place. There is GlaxoSmithKline Consumers Nigeria PLC losing about 95 kobo last week. May and Baker also lost about 74 kobo last week to close at 431 kobo. How strong, fundamentally strong, are some of these stocks?
Generally, for the healthcare sector last week, they suffered pullback because of profit taking. And for May and Baker, it's not only profit taking. The price was marked down for 30 kobo dividend. Because you mark down the price, it was going to affect the price of the stock, taking away 30 kobo from it. And also profit taking activities. You can see that the life of Fixen, GSK, and others, suffered losses last week because of profit taking. Purely profit taking for that sector for me now. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, we've seen some earnings in the market, but I want us to focus, perhaps you have to say cost, but we'll get back to that later. Let's focus on Presco PLC announcing a final dividend of 6 naira 60 kobo for the period ended December 31, 2021. So talk to us about this.
For me, the company...
How impressive is this one, and are investors impressed with this particular declaration?
Yeah, investors should be impressed, but I'll tell you that investors are already looking ahead to see a bonus share from the company for now. Now, results coming, there's fantastic number we're seeing, good number, but because the bonus is not accompanying the dividend of 6 naira 60 kobo. We are yet to see market reacting last week, but let's see today if market will change. But as on Friday, the results were announced. We didn't see much movement on the stock, but I'll tell you the company performance was good one that should also impact the price. But for those that are long-term investors, that know how to invest against the future. I think that is the place they should be, because the company has what it takes to move as high as even 300 naira or in terms of price. That means at 200 naira is a good place to start buying. And now that people can get it at either 180, 185, 190 in the market, take position, especially if you're a long-term investor, because what is happening globally, even local here, yes, even though there's other countries that are into palm oil, like Indonesia, Malaysia started exporting, that will not push Nigeria to, because as we speak now, if you rank Nigeria, rank all those that are into palm oil, we should be around the 4th or the 5th country. That means Okomu and Presco as business. For industrial use, for me, the market is there for them. So that's why, if you're an investor, look at what is going to drive the cash flow of this company. If they are there, you need to take position against the future.
How would you describe the competition in that particular sector, given the Okomu and Presco, some of the results, the result that they've declared, for the year or for the quarter?
For me, I would say there's not much competition, because two of them are in the same industry and they are serving the same market. Then Okomu cannot serve the whole Nigeria. Then for me, it's the ability for you to get more market. That is why, for me, the Presco acquisition of Fiat Nigeria in Port Harcourt is a plus for them. That will make them to have additional market share. That will be plus for them. That's why investors should look at. Now they have another addition, market have been added. Expect a better number. Why Okomu also decide tomorrow to do nothing to increase its own market share. But for now, we know that the way Presco is going, it's a stop for the future if really you are thinking ahead.
Give us for this week, of course, let's get straight and look at its MPC meeting. Well, of course, I want us to get back to looking at what you think will play out, or the outlook for the market, perhaps give us a chart and the direction where the market is headed for investors to position very well.
Actually, for me, the market last week tested about 53,796 before pulling back to close below 53,000. But this morning we are seeing that it's already across another 53,000 again up. It's a good sign. But because of this MPC meeting, I know many players or investors want to see, let's see the body language. But before now, we have not seen any body language, whether they're going to increase rate or not. Because if you look at what happened the last treasury bill option that was done, you can see that the log curve, there was a little decline. That also saying that this was not ready to increase rate. If there's kind of increase in that, we'll have started. But let's see what will come out. But technically, the market is very strong. You can see that the chart here are giving us a sign that yes, market remain above the T line on a weekly and a daily chart. That is that the market is very, very strong. And other momentum indicators are still positive, supporting the pattern that the market will still do well. But the thing that will change the trend is today, tomorrow, if there is kind of a hike in interest rate, I will tell you, naturally, funds look for where they are safe, where they can go for safe, safe haven, and also where there is higher return. If there is increase in rate, automatically the fixed income market rate will automatically everything will go up. And that's those that are fearful, that are that don't want to take the capital market to start pushing their fund to where they understand. But although that risk taker will still play market, because once they hike rate, there are other sectors in the market that are also going to do well. We expect banking sector to do well if there is rate hike, automatically. But now they are seeing that interest is low. Other sectors also do because they are having access to, especially those special interventions that the CBN has done. You can see that they still have access to chief fund to run their business. We expect that they should leave the interest rate fine, but like I said, we can't decide for them. Let's wait the outcome by tomorrow afternoon when the CBN governor will be addressing the financial journalists to know outcome of the. But I believe that for us to sustain this recovery, we should not temper our MPR.
I mean, I can see, live feed here. The market is already in the red. Again. Already in the red. Perhaps a body language to tell you that, okay, this MPC is going to be either one way or the other. Is going to end in favor of one. Yes, and then of course. Yes. But let's look at, if you look at this one, because I'm already trying to project into the week. Can we say it's going to be a mixed week? Yes, the MPC meeting is still ongoing, so on the way. But can we say it's going to be a mixed week, regardless?
Yeah, I believe that it's going to be a mix because of the outcome of the MPC meeting. Today, you see market will be a bit slow. Now you can see what is going. This morning, market started oscillating already in the green at the open.
Before dropping.
Yeah, in the green at the open. But I believe that before midday, we'll know where market is going. For me, investors should just keep calm and watch. And no matter if there is increase in rate, there's opportunity also in the market where you can, there's sectors that you can take care of yourself, where you can also console your, the volume that are like me, I don't invest in fixed income market. If equity I do, even though it's later, it's also how I'm going to navigate in the equity market. But those that are risk averse, they can have to run back to what, those understand the market know that. Now we're already in the election year, liquidity that will come from, from the politicians who also find way to the market. If there's liquidity in the market, the amount of supply is going up. But let's see that come of MPC meeting.
Okay, so it's a crucial meeting, and of course it's ongoing.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. Well, you're still watching Business Breakfast, coming to you live from our studios here. Well, still to come after the break, Nigerians spent at least $220.86 million on foreign education between December 2021 and February this year. Well, this is according to a recent data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria. And when we return, of course, we'll bring you details in our top business stories. Please stay with us.